everyone. It's a good morning with me, and I hope it is with you all who is watching. Welcome, Malim Andrew Samanya, my names, and I welcome you as we discuss something about OKIYA OMTATAH OKOITI's play, The Voice of the People, and the character of Boss. Before anything, I would like to remind you that I'm making this particular video in this pandemic, in a lockdown. This is COVID-19. Everyone should take caution because this is a global pandemic. Everyone must take charge to stop it from spreading from one person to another because it is the real threat to humanity in this 21st century. I beg and please beg that you stop the spread of COVID-19. Good. In this particular session, this particular episode, the main objective is that you should be able to analyze the character of boss. And then the success criteria is just there with us. They should be in position to state the characters of the boss with evidence from the play. You should also be able to use adjectives to state those particular characters, and then you should identify who boss is. Good. But let us take a quick reminder through our language. Remember, this is literature in English, therefore there is no way you can separate literature from the language itself. So here we have a part of speech called adjective. Yes, it is an aspect of language. All languages have adjectives, but let us try to remind ourselves what adjectives are. You see, English language attempts to define and distinguish nouns or things in the environment by using adjectives. Why? Because they are these that modify the noun. They're these that tell us more about the noun. Okay? In that if you have more than one noun in a particular place or position, you should be in position to tell their differences or to tell how they look like or to describe them by the use of adjectives. Therefore, adjectives are the words that tell us more about a noun. That is a quick reminder of our language. And in order to break for you what in particular was meant up there is that you should be able to know that literature in English uses the aspects of language to convey its message. We believe that by the time a writer puts a pen on paper, there is a message they want to portray, and they cannot portray it unless they cling to the wings of language so that they can portray their message and to ask the readers. Okay. Therefore, when discussing who a character is in any literature genre, we should be in position to use adjectives. Good. Let us get back to the play itself, The Voice of the People. I say this is a play that was written by OKIYA OMTATAH OKOITI, and it's a very, very beautiful play. But in this particular play, this is where we find a character called Boss. And we're saying that Boss is the antagonist of the play. Okay? He is the head of state and the pioneer of the construction of the African resort Paradiso, which aims at destroying Simbi Forest, and yet this is against the will of the people. Okay? Now this is the main conflict in the play, and since it is championed by him, and by him I mean Boss, it makes him the antagonist of the play. Okay? But what does Boss do? Say? How does he say it, and why? All these are pointers. If you want to know the character of Boss, if you want to know who Boss is, then pay attention to what Boss does, what he says, how he says it, and why he says it. When you integrate all these in your mind, then you'll be in position to know who Boss is in the play, The Voice of the People. Now, this is a particular pictorial illustration of Boss. Copyright is reserved for Top 2020 Studios, and this particular pictorial illustration, it is kind of a cartoon, but it's telling us who Boss is. Just as the name Boss is symbolic to a person who is of this particular caliber. We're seeing him dressed in a suit, putting on specs, and then the way he's holding his hands shows that he's boss in the area. Okay? No one can touch, he's untouchable. So by just looking at this picture, it may have an insight on what and who boss is as far as the play is concerned. But let us go further to look at the traits. We are saying that boss is corrupt. Why do we say boss is corrupt? Look at corruption itself. Something that is done against the expectation. If you're the head of state and you're the very person who is oppressing people, and which kind of people? The orphans who are living on the streets, the mothers front who are trying to help out the orphans, the mothers front who are trying to protect them before us, and you're the very person who is going ahead to oppress them. And not only oppressing, you are also attempting to rape Nasirombi, who is the head of the mothers front. Then you are corrupt. And by just a mere attempt to rape Nasirumbi tells us that you are a rapist. How dare can a president, a head of state, get a level of trying to rape such a woman? Then you are also an oppressor. You are very ethical. I mean unethical. How unethical you is you do not stand by your values. You speak something different, you do something different. Okay? Then you are also gullible. By gullible I mean you are easily tricked. How can you lack the conscience of knowledge to know that they are tricking you, and yet you are the head of the state? You only dance to the toes of your right hand man Sibora, who leads you not in one trap but so many traps. Then you are also short tempered. You don't reason with content, you reason by emotion. You are very unpatriotic. You do not have love for the country. In other words, you have love for the country, but the selfish love of yourself is greater than the love of the country. Therefore, you are very unpatriotic. You are an opportunist. You are a sadist. You delight in the suffering of the many. You are negligent to your duties, whereby at the beginning of the play we see you spending more time in your villa than attending to national um, affairs. Then you are a liar. You tell lies. You say you stand for the good of the people, but in the real sense, you stand for the good of yourself. Then you are very arrogant. The way you speak to Nasrumbi, the way you speak to Idondo, is not the way a leader should speak, because it means you devalue them. You are the boss, you see you are the top of the world. Then you're very selfish. So selfish to the point that you deserve only the good for you. You have and you own property outside of the country, and yet the people in your country cannot even afford anything to eat. Then you are also a tyrant. You don't have any democratic value in you, although you say you have. Okay? Then you're also an impositor. You pretend to be what you're not. You pretend to be a good person to the people, yet when we read the play, we see you are not a good person at all. You want to take even the little they have. You are an impersonator. You delight in making people pay for things that they are not meant to pay for. You take yourself for something you're not. This is boss in the play, the voice of the people. Now, how do we build our essay? Yes, we have seen who boss is as the protagonist of the play, but we need to build an essay by getting evidence from the play to support the above pointed character traits about boss. And we do this by putting evidence in quotes from the play itself. Quote for me from the play that this is what I've realized about boss. As he says it, this or this. If you're talking about someone being corrupt, tell us that instead of providing the state with necessities and good things, he owns and brags about the property he has abroad when he's on phone with Mr. Fixit at the beginning of the play, that is sequence 1. So this is a hint into the character of boss, and I pray that you read the play, buy a copy, read it and internalize and reason out these particular characters and all other characters of the people, and you shall be guided by these videos. I want to let you be in the safe hands of God's grace, and I wish you the best. This is it for now. Bye bye, and make sure you don't miss the next episode of these particular discussions. May God bless you. Bye bye.